little bit more. A little bit
come
more.
on.
Come on. Oh. Oh, there we go. We're live.
We're in. Tell Steve. Stop messing around. Is it recording?
Yeah. No, I turned it. Holy.
Testing, testing, testing.
Namandab, 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 namandab. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Dharma Family Service, and it's also combined with our Lady Takeko Kujo and Oakland Buddhist Women's Association Members Memorial Service. So I'd like to turn it over to the chairperson for that, Judy Kano.
Good morning. My name is Judy Kano, and I would like to welcome you to this morning's special memorial service to commemorate Lady Takeko Kujo and to honor members of the Oakland Buddhist Women's Association who have passed away. Like many Jodo Shinshu temples around the world, OBWA conducts this important service in February. February was the month which sadly ended Lady Kujo's very short life of 41 years, leaving behind a rich legacy that continues and is regarded highly today. Lady Kujo was the daughter of Koson Otani, the 21st Monshu, or head abbot of the Nishi Honganji-ha. And in her early 20s, she founded the Buddhist Women's Association, BWA, or Fujinkai, allowing a woman to become involved in community services and religious activities. She also had a vision of building a school exclusively for ladies to focus on their education, which was unheard of at a time where the status of a female was considered unnecessary and irrelevant. Her vision became a reality with the establishment of the Kyoto Women's University in 1920. After the devastating and destructive earthquake, Tokyo earthquake in 1923, she participated in giving aid to the seriously injured and helping orphaned children. This eventually led to the construction of Asoka Hospital, one of Japan's first modern medical center, which remains to this day and preserves her memory. Her unwavering humanitarian efforts exemplified the Buddhist way of living with compassion and kindness, creating a better place by helping others. In addition, she was a renowned poet and author in which many of her writings reflected her deep appreciation of the Nembutsu. So we hold this annual service in remembrance of Lady Kujo, acknowledging these contributions and honoring her selfless acts that embody the spirit of a bodhisattva. We take this opportunity to also pay tribute and honor OBWA members who have passed on and reflect with gratitude their dedication, commitment, and who worked tirelessly to support the goals of OBWA and our temple. To all the OBWA members whose name is on the list, I say thank you. We will Sutra Sanbutsuge on page 22 in the small purple book.
Namanda, 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 namanda. Kogengi Ijin Mugok Nyozen Myo Muyo Tosha Nichigatsumani Shuko Enyo Kai Shitsu Onpei Yun Yaku Jumok Nyorai Yogen Chose Murin Shogaku Dayon Koru Jippo Kaimon Shojin Sanmai Chie Itoku Muryo Shushoke Jintai Zennen Shobutsu Hokkai Gujin Jin no 苦語外体無明欲ぬ世尊読む人のしし人徳無量苦訓古代知恵人妙光明意相神道大仙願が差仏在所法可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任生じ如是三昧知恵以上五世特仏不行志願一切苦苦一切大安決し有仏百千億万無量大小修行五者供養一切使徒諸仏不如愚道賢聖不客非如語者諸仏世界不不可け無種節道光明師匠変師諸国如是精進異人難量量が差仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国如内音任務闘争ガト愛民道脱一切実法来生心熱症状意図が国経楽安の古仏神妙是が心象発願の非力少々欲実法世尊知恵無下上量子孫知が信行計量心死食毒中我行精進忍辱不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダ Namandabe, Namandabe, Gamni Shikudoku, Byodo Seisai, Dohoten Bodaishin, Ojo An Dakok. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Next, we will recite the three treasures, led by Reverend Bridge, and that is located on page 3 in the small purple book.
The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Butsu, Namo.
Now, we will have incense offering from Lynn Nakaso in remembrance of her mother, Alice Shibata. We also lost 2 other OBWA members, Jean Nakazono and Tomita Shimamoto, and we will remember them fondly. Reverend Bridge will now deliver his Dharma talk.
Namam, namam, namam. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for today, which in a way is a normal service, our Dharma family service, so everyone can come, but we're also combining it with our Lady Takeko Kujo and Oakland Buddhist Women's Association Members Memorial. And in the past, up until maybe even the past few years, this was always kind of a separate service, right? We'd do the Dharma family service first, people would leave, and then we'd have this separate Buddhist Women's Association service. And I kind of like it better this way because it's not an exclusive thing, right? It's like, I think it's important for members and people that come to be aware that we have this Buddhist Women's Association, and so I kind of like having it combined like this. And who knows, we may change. It kind of depends on the circumstances, but we're Buddhist, right? We can handle change. And so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, not always. Sometimes I fear change. But one thing we often say in Japanese, Fujinkai, right, for this Buddhist Women's Association, but technically it's Bukkyo Fujinkai. Bukkyo is Buddhism or Buddhist, and then Fujin is women, Kai is association or group, right? So we, as a shorthand, we say Fujinkai, but really the Buddhist Women's Association should be translated Bukkyo Fujinkai, right? So just kind of something to keep in mind. If it's just Fujinkai, it's just a women's organization, right? But I think it's important to recognize it as a Buddhist association. So what I'd like to do is go back in time. Okay, and so I'm not sure how far back we're going to go, maybe only a few years, maybe over 100 years. We'll have to see. I went in our office and I found some programs. And some of them are programs, some of them are booklets. I'll show them up on the screen. Here's one. So we're not going, yeah, actually we're going back kind of far. 2004. Picture it. 2004. It's reflections on 100 years of gratitude. This was the centennial of the Oakland Buddhist Women's Association, right? And so that we have this pamphlet. I didn't show pictures on the screen in there, but there are pictures of members. It has the service, order, it's all kinds of stuff. I like the pictures of the members, right, from over 20 years ago now. There's even some pressed Bodhi leaves from our Bodhi tree, I assume, right? And so it's kind of neat to find those in here. I don't know if those were given out as part of the service, because I wasn't here. I was in Japan at that time. So there's one. We're going further back. Whoa, 1984. The 80th anniversary of the Senior Women's Buddhist Association. So that's another interesting thing, thinking back about our Buddhist Women's Association here at Oakland. There was a junior and a senior. Junya Bukkyo Fujinkai and Shinya Bukkyo Fujinkai, right? And so my understanding is the senior one was more Issei, first generation, that spoke mainly Japanese. And then as generations change, times change, right? And there's more and more women only speaking English or mainly speaking English, so they kind of split it into senior for the Japanese speaking, because they were older generation, and then junior for the mainly English speaking. Right? So that's one aspect of our history, and that's kind of seen here in this anniversary of the Senior Women's Buddhist Association, which I think is kind of neat. And there's kind of a neat picture drawing of the church on there too, which I never really noticed before. Okay, I'm going to switch gears. It's not only Oakland. It's also, we don't only have to go back. Okay, come back from 1984 to 2019, right before the pandemic, right? We were in San Francisco and we had the 16th World Buddhist Women's Convention. So this I pulled this up in a way just to show it's not only Oakland, it's not only BCA, right? Japan too, but also South America, Canada, right? That there are Buddhist women's associations all over the world, really, right? And so we're fortunate to be able to have these, and Reverend Endo is very involved in planning of this one. But now we're going back in time to 1974. I was 3 years old. It's the 5th World Buddhist Women's Conference Report. So they had a conference, San Francisco, so you can see the images there at the bottom. It looks like the Golden Gate Bridge maybe, right, at the bottom there, and the Dharma Wheel and the Sagari Fuji. You can look at this later on. It's amazing. The stage is huge. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it for one of our conferences, right? It's just really gigantic. So, so many people going. So we've been having these conferences, and they let us know. But we're back in 74, so it's not only about this. Did you know that in the 60s and even into the 70s, women were often not allowed to wear pants? Did you know that? I found out later on in my life. I think a lot of you know this. Right? Apparently, even in Congress, it wasn't until the early 90s that women were allowed to wear pants. Congress of the United States. Right? So schools, right, you weren't allowed to wear pants. And so this is just a random image. This is not anyone I know. It's a random image off the internet showing a class from like 1968, right? And women not allowed to wear pants. I'm too young to remember this part of American history. But interesting to me to think, aha, the government is telling people what you can wear based on your gender? Interesting, huh? It's something I think we forget. Apparently the Attorney General in 1923 said it's okay for women to wear pants. So apparently some guy in the government can tell women what to wear in the 20s or whatever, 1920s. That's only 100 years ago, right? But many organizations did not follow suit, right? And it wasn't until 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s that it was accepted, allowed for women to wear pants. Let's not go back. Okay, that's a time I don't want to go back to, right? But thinking about our memorial today, and the reason I'm putting this up on the screen is what you have here in the room, but people online, we pass out this list of Bukkyo Fujinkai members, Oakland Buddhist Women's Association members who've passed away. And the reason I put it on the screen is because 1949 to 2025. And so I'm sure, our Fujinkai, like I showed, the 100th anniversary, so it was actually founded in 1904. But this memorial keeps track, I think, of people. Maybe we started doing it in 1949. Of course, it goes back further, right? And the people that passed away here, some of them, I'm sure, were born in the 19th century, right? So all the way up to, this past year. And so, this kind of incredible history, right, of women here at Buddhist Church of Oakland and honoring their role here. Here's Lady Takeko Kujo, born, the dates I found were 1887 until 1928. Right? And, just really, really kind of amazing. She's living there at this kind of interesting period in time between 19th and 20th century. A couple of decades, 3 decades into the 20th century, and rules about gender, I'm sure, very strong at this time in Japanese society, right? And just kind of assumptions and expectations and even rules of what you can and can't do. And she was, I think we could consider her kind of an aristocrat, right? Aristocratic, but also this kind of religious part of the upper echelons of Jodo Shinshu, Nishi Honganji, right? And probably could have just taken it easy, right? But didn't, right? And it's with the Russo-Japanese War, another war I don't think we hear about that much, but late 19th, early 20th century, Japan goes to war with Russia, and they're fighting in, over 125 years ago, right? And it's during this time that she founds the Fujinkai, Bukkyo Fujinkai, in order to help soldiers, right? To make care packages for Japanese soldiers and help them out, and also to help families who lost their male soldiers, to the war. So this kind of helping organization. I think the Buddhist Women's Association has grown beyond that, of course, right? But I think it's interesting to think about it in realize the origins of it, right? Coming out of war, I think we can critique war, and we can look at different sides that fight each other, right? And we can look back at this time in history. I think we should be aware of Russo-Japanese war. We should be aware of this is the kind of early militarist regime in Japan when things get very totalitarian, which is a term, unfortunately, we hear about more and more, right, in the world today. At the time, 125 years ago, where it was happening, right? And you weren't allowed to speak freely. You weren't allowed to criticize people openly. You had to toe the line, and I think there was not a lot of freedom, which we also take for granted, I think, now in our United States. Now, okay, I'm going to go way back in time. 1300s, Shinran Shonin, and I wanted to share this poem. This is a poem from Shinran Shonin's Jodo Wasans, the hymns on the Pure Land. So profound is Amita's great compassion that, manifesting inconceivable Buddha wisdom, the Buddha established the 35th vow, thereby vowing to enable women to attain Buddhahood. Historically, in Buddhism, women are not equal to men. We can go back to Shakyamuni, right? And he had an order of monks The Sangha was originally monks only, men only. And it's not until his aunt pleads with him, please let there be an order of nuns. Right? Women can seek enlightenment too. And so he allows it, but there are more rules. Now, whether the historical Buddha made the extra rules, or that's more of, I think, people afterwards, creating more rules. Apparently women need to be controlled more. Right? It's kind of ridiculous from my perspective, but that's what happened historically. And also women were not considered able to attain Buddhahood. They could maybe attain a lower level of enlightenment, but supreme Buddhahood being restricted to men. Right? So this is Buddhist history. Right? And yet, there are also streams in Buddhism. Mahayana has a stream where there's more equality between monastics and lay people, men and women, right? So that we can see a stream or streams in Buddhism that aren't about this inequality, right? And I think are more egalitarian and more equal. And so we see here Shinran Shonin acknowledging, actually celebrating, I think, that Amida Buddha vows that women can also attain Buddhahood. Basically, anyone can attain Buddhahood. So I think that this is a really important point. One other point I'll make, another for Shinran Shonin, but talking about Shakyamuni Buddha and Amida. This is another poem from a different set of wasans. Shakyamuni and Amida are our compassionate father and our mother. Guiding us through various skillful means, they awaken in us the supreme Shinji. They awaken in us the entrusting mind. So this is another really important point. With our new, the parts of the Naijin got sent back to Japan, or they're being sent back to Japan, right? And one of the kind of nice things about it is we can actually see our Buddha image more clearly. I don't know if you noticed, but before you couldn't see it from certain angles because parts of the Kuden were kind of in the way. And so one aspect of it is that we can see our wonderful Buddha image. But Shinran Shonin actually preferred Namo Amida Butsu, the name written out, to the image, the anthropomorphic image. And I wonder if part of it is because this is kind of limiting. We see a statue and we think, oh yeah, I know what that is. It's a person, right? It's a person who's a Buddha. But it's also a male person, if we look closely, right? And so I wonder if maybe that's part of Shinran's understanding and why he preferred Namo Amida Butsu and didn't prefer the statue or a painting of the anthropomorphic, human-looking Buddha. Right? Because, like he says, Shakyamuni and Amida are our compassionate father and our mother. And sometimes he associates Shakyamuni with father, Amida with mother. I think it's because Buddha's beyond gender, right? Beyond dichotomies. Why does it have to be so binary? Right? And so on one level, ultimate Buddha, actually beyond gender. But maybe on another level, in our world, recognizing that we have gender, but maybe we can recognize a fluidity in that too. It doesn't have to be so binary, okay? And that we can just accept people as they are. And as we are, we change, right? We change throughout our life. There's no absolute essence of who I am, of who each one of you are. Right? So we change throughout our lives, and Amida Buddha accepts us as you are, as I am, as we are. Right? I think that's one of the key messages of Shinran Shonin, rather than have these kind of binary dichotomies and kind of absolute rules. These people have to do this, but those people have to do that. Right? Instead, more equality and openness from Amida Buddha, also from Shinran Shonin, also from, I think, Lady Takeko Kujo, right? And her maybe not accepting the rules and expectations of women, what women are supposed to do, or even what they can do. Oh, I saw in the news today, CHP apparently, California Highway Patrol, is looking to have more women join the ranks, right? And so I think that's good, because there's other movements that maybe the Army shouldn't allow women, maybe military shouldn't allow them. Right? And so from my perspective, I've always felt, why this kind of absolute distinctions that men are fundamentally different than women? Sure, there's difference. Difference is good, but we can be equal, right? Can't we be equal even amidst difference and accept difference in others? And so I feel that on this part of Shinran Shonin and Amida Buddha and the vow, right, backs me up, I would like to think. So I want to really thank you. I got one more quote. Can I do one more quote? It's long, though. You'll be like, oh, why did we say yes? I didn't show you the quote before I read it. This is from Lady Takeko Kujo, and it's pretty deep. We had a study class yesterday about the difficulty of seeing oneself, and so I think this is part of it. This is her words. It is human sentiment to rejoice in good and hate evil. If we do not reflect and despise evil, there will never be a time when we are saved from evil. We must promote good. However, no one should take pride in their own good. On the contrary, if we are not brought to tears for our own evils by the evils of others, we may also be unaware that the fires of evil are always burning within our own selves. Those unable to reflect on their own evil are apt to be proud of their petty good deeds. From the standpoint of companions on the path, or ondobo, the good and the evil person alike are intimate friends of seekers after truth. Rather than just affirming good itself, by also acknowledging evil, we cannot fail to reflect deeply within ourselves. So this is another aspect of Jodo Shinshu that's really important. I think we aspire to the wisdom and compassion of the Buddha. We aspire to the 6 paramitas and selfless giving and awakening. We aspire to the Eightfold Path, right view, right thought, right speech, right action. Right? And yet also with an openness to seeing myself and that maybe I fall short. Okay? And rather than judging others, or if we do judge others, recognize, aha, maybe I need to look at myself too. Right? And same way, if I do find that in myself, Amida Buddha accepts me with all of that. Right? And yet, maybe in that acceptance, if I feel it, the transformation takes place within me. So I want to really thank you all, and so I'd like to conclude the Dharma Talk for this special Lady Takeko Kujo and Members Memorial Service with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Okay. And turn it back to Judy.
Okay. Next on our program is the installation of our 2025 OBWA officers, as well as installing the Bay District Women's Association cabinet. So I'm going to announce our president, Kathy Terasaki. Will you come up to Oshoko? And Kathy will be both the president of OBWA and the Bay District cabinet. And the vice president for OBWA and Bay District is Carol Tunen. And also Patty Hisaoka, but she was not able to come today. She wasn't feeling well. Also, the recording secretary for OBWA and the Bay District is Peggy Takahashi. Our corresponding secretary for OBWA is Karen Hashimoto, but she was not able to attend. And for Bay District, Sabrina Shepard, who was also not able to attend. Our treasurer for Bay District is June Masayama. Okay, and then I will be serving as treasurer for OBWA for another year.
face me. And gasho, please, and repeat after me. I take office in the Oakland Buddhist Women's Association, aware that it will require a commitment of time and effort. I will do my best to lead through both action and direction, using the Buddha Dharma as my guide. I affirm this pledge by taking refuge in the three treasures. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Okay, thank you. You want to turn around and you can take a picture. Oh, I'll put it back on the thing.
Let's see, it's installation. Okay, now we will have Gatha, Seiya. The lyrics was written by Lady Kujo. And you can find the lyric of the song, the Gatha, on page 226 in the large purple book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
And next, we'll have announcements from Robert Noguchi.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to see everyone here. My name is Robert. Welcome to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. And I'd like to first welcome any guests or visitors that we have today. Are there any that are here that would like to stand and introduce themselves quickly? No? Okay, very good. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on. There's a lot to mention today. First, I'd like to thank Reverend Harry Gyokyo Bridge, our resident minister, for his Dharma Talk and officiating today's Lady Takeko Kujo service. Reverend Michael Endo for assisting with the service. Steve Chitosaki for playing the organ. Our host number 1 group, chaired by Gary Tominaga, who's providing hospitality for all of us here at the church today. And our Zoom crew downstairs taking care of our online presentation and YouTube broadcast. So coming up next, there's a lot going on here. Next Sunday, we'll have our Dharma School and Dharma Family Service at 10 a.m. And then right after that, our Dharma Chat will be with Reverend Michael Endo next Sunday at 10:45, right after the service, because the Dharma School will be with Reverend Bridge downstairs in the social hall. And then our study class, Sensei mentioned that we had a study class yesterday, which went very well. So we want to thank all of you for participating that came yesterday, and Sensei for conducting the study class. But our next one is Saturday, March 15th at 1 p.m., so a month from now. That'll be our next study class. And once again, just to reiterate, our BCO Buddhist Education is back with our Dharma Chat next Sunday and our study class on March 15th. And it's all available information on the website. We have some free workshops. The Buddhist Churches of America, in accordance with their National Council meeting, Ministers Association meeting coming up, will have free workshops open to the public next Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. And we're encouraging many of our board members to attend these, but anyone is actually invited to attend. They have 4 tracks: Buddhist education, developing our leaders, investing in our future, and organizational sustainability fundraising. So, excuse me, if you'd like to attend, please let me know. The link is already on the website, on the BCAO website, so you could take a look at that. And then next Sunday, we're also going to have BCA Town Hall. This is on top of everything else we're doing next Sunday. But at 11:30, after all of our activities are finished, we'll have a BCA Town Hall with their bishop, Reverend Marvin Harada, and that'll be at 11:30 till 1 p.m. And then the following Sunday, March 2nd, will be the BCA Eitaikyo service. So there won't be a service here in Oakland because there'll be the Eitaikyo service at the Jodo Shinshu Center. But we'll go ahead and broadcast it here. You can also see it at home if you'd like. You don't have to come here. But if you have any questions about that, you could see any one of us. This is Day of Remembrance. For San Francisco, the Day of Remembrance is actually today. But the 2025 Films of Remembrance is next weekend, Saturday, February 22nd in San Francisco, and Sunday, February 23rd in San Jose. So if you want info or tickets, you could just go to this website, 2025.filmsofremembrance.org, and you can get information and a full schedule. And as I mentioned, the 2025 Day of Remembrance is today in San Francisco, in Japantown at the AMC Kabuki 8 theaters. That'll be coming up at 1 p.m. if you have any questions about that. Next month, Saturday, March 8th, there will be another session of Meeting the Moment, the 3rd session, and that'll be with Reverend Michael Yoshi, reporting back from the Palestine with Reverend Michael Yoshi, and navigating our spiritual obligation toward collective liberation. So that'll be happening Saturday morning, March 8th from 10 to 12:30, and you're welcome to register. It's free registration, free lunch, and free childcare. Our next special service will be Spring Ohigan, March 16th, with a Dharma School and our Spring Ohigan service, followed by light refreshments from our host group. This was just passed on to me from Sensei last night. The movie Kintsu Kuroi, which is a movie about the internment, will be a special screening at the Oakland Museum on Saturday, March 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. And the proceeds will support the Pre-K through 12 Asian American Studies Summer Institute of the East Bay. So if you're, I know it was shown last year, last spring in El Cerrito, and then last summer or last fall in Castro Valley. But if you're interested, this will be shown here at the Oakland Museum just up the street from 1 to 5 p.m. There'll be a Q&A with the cast and all that afterwards. So it should be a special program. And I have a QR code. We'll get this on the website as soon as we can. But it sounds like a very, very interesting program. And last but not least, our trip to the stupa in San Francisco, the Buddhist Church of San Francisco stupa trip will be Sunday, April 27th from 9 a.m. And we'll come back and have lunch here afterwards. This is all being made possible by the Nakashima Masayama Fund. So we thank him very much for making this trip possible. So it should be a lot of fun. And that'll be on Sunday, April 27th. We'll have registration on our website opening on March 1st. And I think that's all I have. So thank you very much for supporting the Buddhist Church of Oakland. We appreciate any gifts that you make, whether it be here at the church or online through our PayPal portal on our website. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll turn this back over to Judy.
Okay, so on behalf of the Oakland Buddhist Women's Association, we thank you for your attendance today. And I'm going to have Reverend Bridge close the service with Gasho.
Thank you. Gasho, please. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.